Hi guys, welcome to our daily encounter. Have you ever had a day where you just wanted to crawl in bed? Maybe because you didn't get much sleep the night before, or you just weren't feeling well, or maybe you're having a stressful day and you just think about your bed at home and you just can't wait to crawl into bed. And maybe it kind of pained you a little bit to realize that you still had several hours to go before that would be realized. But once you were able to go to bed, it just felt so good to crawl in your bed and close your eyes and just rest. Or maybe you've had an instance where something more long term happened, where you were trying to achieve a long term goal and you were working towards it. You just couldn't wait for the goal to be accomplished. Maybe you could think of going to college or something like that, where you're working hard, it's difficult, you're super busy, and you just can't wait to graduate. And then graduation day comes and you finally hold that diploma in your hand. And what a wonderful feeling it is to have that desire finally uh, come to realization and to be able to experience it. A lot of other examples could be given, but I think we all know the feeling of desiring something very strongly and maybe not being able to fulfill that desire right away, but then eventually being able to have that desire be realized and experienced, and how good that feels. Well, in the book of Proverbs, we have a proverb that speaks of this. In Proverbs chapter 13 and verse 19, it says, "Desire realized is sweet to the soul." And that is definitely true. Desire realized is sweet to the soul. When you finally get to realize the very thing that you desire, you finally get to experience it. It's a very sweet thing and a very precious thing. But until that point, desire can sometimes be torturous or uh, very much painful and full of suffering, because you really want that thing that you desire, but you just can't have it just yet. And it just tears at your heart to think about the fact that even though you want it so badly, you just can't have it yet. But then when you do get it, it makes it all the more sweeter. Going back to the analogy of going to bed at night, maybe you gone to bed many times without even thinking about how comfortable your bed was or how good it felt to fall asleep. You just did it because it was something that you did. It was part of your routine. But on those days when you were extremely tired or didn't feel good, all of a sudden you realize just how wonderful it is. The stronger your desire was during the day to go to bed, the more sweeter it was when you actually did go to bed. And again, many examples could be given similar to that. And that's true in our lives. In our lives, there are strong desires that we have. And a lot of them relate to our spiritual walk. Maybe we have a strong desire to not be in pain anymore, a strong desire to not experience sorrow anymore, a strong desire to be with the Lord and to experience Christ's return again, and to be resurrected into immortal, incorruptible, powerful bodies that are promised for us in 1 Corinthians chapter 15. And we desire it so strongly, but yet still day after day, we still have to deal with the struggles, the trials of this life. And more and more we desire the things that God has prepared for us, maybe the more and more we suffer under those desires, because we just want that bliss that is promised to us so badly. But we got to realize, just like what happens when you finally get to crawl into bed, or you finally get that diploma in your hands, that's what it's going to feel like when we finally have God's promises realized in our lives. And we are able to fully experience the bliss, the joy, the happiness that He has prepared for us. And it's going to be sweet. And the more and more that we have desired it in this life, and the more and more perhaps that desire has caused us to suffer because we hadn't realized it yet, the more and more sweeter it's going to be. And so what we should do then is hold fast to the promise that God is going to one day bring us into a state of joy and rest and blessing, but also to realize how wonderful that's going to feel and how wonderful it's going to be when we finally realize our desires. And to allow that to help us to get through each and every day. To know, yes, life is difficult. Yes, we desire a better place. Sometimes we long for it so much that it seems to even hurt. But we know that one day that day will come one day we will realize that we are now fully experiencing all the joy that God has promised us. Just as at some point in time we experience crawling into bed, or at some point we experience attaining that diploma, or whatever it might be. One day that day will come, and we're even more assured of that than even the things of this world that we desire and hope to realize in those desires. So today, let's be encouraged. Let's be encouraged to, yes, continue to desire the things of heaven, still desire the things that God has promised us, but to realize that even though we haven't realized them yet, even though they haven't been fully experienced for us, that one day we will experience them. And the suffering and the hardships and the difficulties that we deal with in this life that perhaps heighten our desire for something better will make that day all the more sweeter. And we'll be able to experience God's blessings in a special way and in a wonderful way that, as the book of Proverbs says, that is sweet. It'll be a sweet thing when we have our desires realized through Jesus Christ. So these are some things we can reflect on and think about today as we do our reading today. And with that, guys, I do thank you for watching the video today. Hope you guys have a great day. Love you guys. God bless.